Okay, so this is Beckett. Her hands were thin and delicate with gentle pale skin. Nails slender, long but cut short. Never wore a wedding ring for fear it would interfere with her song, and she played beautifully. Beckett would sit with his paper and let the music wash around him, the notes striking against convention, an array of perfectly timed mistakes, against the canvas of mournful beauty. So, this is a different game. I've never played it. What I do know about it is it's artistic and unique. Some have referred to it as a visual novel, but it may be a little more interesting than that. Clearly, this is not Doki Doki Literature Club. So, let's see what happens. An office of a tracing agent. Not yet. Take me there. We are all memories waiting to happen. We are all memories waiting to fade. The box is just massive hulking containers. The intersection of surface and sky is broken and fractured. The streets swarm with insects, pavements blackened under the relentless march of Barreau's labor machine. Yellow piss flows in wandering channels among those creamy pockmarks spat from decaying mouths. And here at the third floor window of a nondescript concrete block stands Beckett. He pulls at a stubborn hair anchored deep in his nose and grimaces as he repeatedly fails to remove it with his fingers. Borough streets. Room? The handle is cold under Beckett's hand. He shuts his eyes and stands motionless, an emptiness deep in his chest. Now was not the time. There are other things to be done. The labor machine, maybe. Beckett stops. He picks at the bandage first with his nails, then with his teeth. Gaining traction, he peels it from his hand. The cut shows no sign of infection. The gauze holds a dark, muddy blood. After 5. Beckett reaches over and taps the sealed, conical shape of his desk lamp. Saw the decorative moth springs to life. Its dry wings clapping frantically. Across the desk, shadows dance. The lamp had been a gift from a client. Arrived a few months back. The moth should have needed to be replaced by now. Moth memes, am I right? I don't know why I said that. Records of existence held in cabinets while memories fade. Our final imprint, on acid-free paper by the hand of a tracing agent. Beckett knows these passages will last longer than he will, which is all that matters. From his jacket, he extracts a ballpoint pen. It holds an engraving. What it says doesn't matter. Also in his pocket, keys, a notebook, and wallet. In his wallet is a picture of Amy, her face softened by Beckett's touch. His notebook is filled with words he can't remember writing. He has more keys than locks. Faceless conversations and meaningless exchanges, empty lies and misinformation. They call with pathetic cries, wanting answers. They call wanting resolve. He never calls out. This guy certainly is emo. Odd. In blue ink are the words Nijinsky's at 8. What's in the envelope doesn't matter. The handwriting is his own. He shoves the letter into his inside pocket. He keeps his jacket on, stays on the heating bills. It's a dead mouse. Nauseants. Poison. Hello? Spoke Beckett. I need your help, Owen replied. Transcript. I need your help. Got the wrong number. Mr. Beckett, please, I'm desperate. My son, I need you to find my son. Don't do domestic cases, try the police. This isn't a game, Mr. Beckett. Excuse me. Okay, my name is Beckett. Just Beckett. Oh, I do apologize. Forget it. Can we speak about my son? He didn't turn up to work this morning. They said I don't do domestics. But please, they said you'd help. Who is this? My name, Daisy Starlight. Miss Daisy Starlight. So I've tried to explain my son is missing. Miss Starlight. I don't do domestics. Interesting. Function or response. Beckett pulls at his eyebrows. Reflect. Something inside. Breathe. He considers then dismisses the call, squinting to inspect the thick gray hairs, 2 of them held between his fingers. His nails need cut. Dirt collects under their ridge. He doesn't care. Amy cared, but that was a long time ago. Achievement unlocked. My allergies are kicking in. Hand in hand through the back streets of Borough walk patrons of its underground bars. It's in pairs that we survive, it's alone we die. This world isn't designed for loners. This world that lives in our heads. With each lost soul, a world is extinguished. There's been an increase of late. Nijinsky is at 8. A note written. In blue ink, his pen. In a manic scrawl, his hand. A meeting that's failed to form a memory. A client? No recollection. No obvious connection. Beckett couldn't care less. Life is a relentless series of tasks, each killing time until the next. Get to the point. Stop wasting time. Soon there'll be only one thing left. How long for you, Beckett? How long? Beckett descends to the surface level, his office sealed with a series of deadbolts and locks. Early evening brings with it a sense of peace for Beckett. The faint drift of sea air cleanses the stench of industry and clears the skies. Seagulls offer only a faint cry. Nijinsky's is a bar. Beckett needs a drink. He's had it with today. Looks like we're headed to the bar. You got the time? Said the man. Beckett could just about make out the person beneath its grime. Sure, it's 7:30, spoke Beckett. Gonna give me something to help the pain? Said the man. Couple of coppers for a cuppa? Shouldn't be here. I've no choice. Wasn't it fit to work? Said the man. Now give us something, will ya? Sorry. Prick. Said the man-shaped bug. The alleyways are home to World's unfortunates. At one time, Beckett would have been sympathetic. He shakes his head and watches as the creature scuttles away and out of sight. The city couldn't care less for those who don't contribute to its cause. Beckett is useful, for now at least. Hello, can I help you? I'm here to drink. Of course you are. Welcome to Nijinsky's. Okay. Interesting music. Russian ballet, strangest appeal, rhythmic continuity, the rose ghost. What's this? An ad of sorts, I guess. Le décor a fait de la reine dans Léon. I really read that screen. Forgive my poorly pronounced French. I have no idea what that says. A singular dance. Sometimes Beckett can feel the blood in his veins pushing under his skin in thick, rhythmic pulses. This music brings no memories. It's a modern take. His lungs open and exhale, scratching inside. He takes a moment. Baczynski's at 8. He's early. He's always early. Take a seat. Order a drink. Use this time to reflect. Read the paper that's tucked under your arm. Forget. Just for a moment, forget. Paul. Active woman. Young lovers. Forever lost. Sparks on everything. Her nails have a thickness that comes with age, fingers resting on cheap golden tights. She smiles with her eyes. Beckett lowers his. At the nape of her neck is an insect. Its legs scratching small lesions into the flesh. A common variety, probably purchased from the flea market today. Caster's stall, no doubt. Her skin is stretched. Her glass is empty. Barman greets Beckett with a familiar smile. Enamel-painted white, lips glossed pink, eyes framed in black. For Jean-Paul, life is a show. Beckett finds his presence refreshing. The whole place smells of flowers. It stirs up memories that he forces back into the darkness. Hey, Anson, good to see you. You back again? Can I tempt you with the rose ghost? It's sublime. Beckett's drink is whiskey mac. It's what his father drank. As a rule, Beckett sticks to what he knows. Whiskey mac. We want something different. Coming right up. Beckett checks his watch, then unfolds the newspaper, casting his eyes over its headlines and attempting to make sense of the world. The echo. Anger over drug echoes. We feel the blame lies elsewhere. Desperate people getting dull in isolation. MP's face quizzing over factory deaths. How dare they? Help us know again. Tragedy looms. The old life. Sex. Wife's head banged on pavement. Employment delays. Indecency charges. Banking up tomorrow. Stolen days. Courts give to town plan priority. Beckett, you'll be late. Two people lost in each other's company, filled with each other's presence, riding high on the distraction of love and lust. Excuse me. I was hoping you'd come say hi. I like your hair. Not many people wear it like that these days. Her smile catches Beckett off guard. Her teeth are immaculate. So, you going to buy me a drink? I'll have a dance poem. Get JP to put an extra shot in there, will you? I'm enjoying a moment's peace. Mixie's dilemma. Jean-Paul makes up another drink. The woman is called Mixie, and she claims to have seen Beckett here before. He nods and pretends that he recognizes her face. She's a widower with a single child. She's looking after her grandson while her daughter's at work. Would you be a darling and check on him? She asks. I'm sure he's fine, but I really should check. It's a small favor. He's over by the stage. By means of explanation, she pulls up her sequin skirt and wraps her knuckles 1, 2, 3 on the wooden leg beneath. The thigh is stained a deep mahogany. Beckett flashes a false smile. Amy used to joke about his un-Samaritan-like demeanor. For her, he would have done anything. That was then, mix he is now. Yet the emergence of the baby has soured things. They say parental love is unconditional, that it's a powerful emotion unlike anything you've felt before. Beckett never knew what it was to have children. The pain must be beyond comprehensions when they are taken away. Hey, Beckett, over here. Fuck. And so the man approaches, dashing knight, valiant soldier of misfortune. I see you haven't bought a new suit. As a businessman poor? Poor Beckett. What do you want? A question direct, not wanting to dance, dear. Your choice. Take Starlight's case. No thanks, not interested. You are a wordsmith, a rare talent wasted on the day-to-day of a mere tracing agent. Alas, we don't care. Take the case. The city representative makes a dramatic sweep with his arm coming to rest as a pointed finger and signposts the seat opposite. There's no choice. That's right, take a load off. You're looking old, Beckett. Poor old Beckett. Why am I here? Again, such directness. We applaud your dedication and deduction. The boy is on our list. That he has fallen off the map, so to speak, is a worrying development. He won't be far. Perhaps. Oh, and there's another teensy-weensy thing from us to you. City representative reaches along fingers into his jacket pocket and pulls out a small matchbox. He places it on the table between them. Want me to plant this? On the mother, yes. You have your methods, Beckett. You're a master of craft. You're a master of your craft, but we offer a suggestion. Let the bug onto her bedroom pillow. Once she rests, her head will establish contact. This isn't conventional. Do your job, Beckett. It's not a request. Plant the bug. Find the boy. Call him in. Hurry. These most simple of tasks to chip away at your sin. Before long, you'll be free, Beckett. Poor Beckett. Now, fuck off. A slight hesitation of step betrays Beckett's intent. He returns to the bar. Hey, the lady friend left you this. JP hands Beckett a scrap of paper with the words "dickhead" on it. She seemed pretty pissed she had to hobble over there and check on the baby herself. A sour metallic taste lingers in his mouth. Beckett glances again at the scrap of paper and tosses it onto the bar. There's a dull ache in Beckett's bladder that he should respond to, a feeling that reminds him of a time spent cross-legged in school classrooms. So, the young man sits with tears in his eyes. The seat next to him is empty and his heart aches. Pick yourself up. Move on. For a moment, Beckett shuts out the world. A city representative has spoken. Reflect. Pick up the Starlight case tomorrow. Plant the bug, find the boy, call him in. Let time pass. A zoo in some city that wasn't their own. Beckett and Amy licked ice cream cones and smiled at the caged animals. Leopards walking in continuous circles, chimpanzees shaking their heads, and orangutans sitting motionless. Returning stares from the other side of reinforced plastic glass. Children laughed and made faces. Beckett and Amy kissed in the sun. A rare moment. Later they would make love on unfamiliar sheets. A cockroach scuttles from under the bed and Beckett thinks nothing of it. Amy stood naked in front of the bathroom mirror. Beckett stood behind and held her breasts. Their heads gently touched and Beckett misunderstood Amy's deep sorrow for love. Beneath his fingertips, fate had just set its death machine to work. Just a speck for now, nothing but a speck. Give it time. Beckett. This body is mine. Do you miss me? Am I here? Poor bastard. Get this over with. Plant the bug. Do your job. Don't do domestics. These flats form part of a grandiose vision for a Brasilia west of the city, which collapsed when those politicians driving the development ended up behind bars and corruption charges. At least that's what the papers said. Nevertheless, the flats were built and, failing to attract buyers, were handed to borough council who chose to use the space to house its problem families and for those with the least. That was 30 years ago, and the wiring hasn't been changed since. Several thumps the approach of a rhinoceros. The door swings open, hulking form of Daisy Starlight stands in silhouette, hands on hip and handle, bosom heaving. She is taller than Beckett. She's dressed in furs, smells of oak and tobacco. Her smile flashes yellow and red before an oily tongue sweeps her teeth. I'm glad you came, Mr. Beckett. Please, come inside. You are about to enter the house of Daisy Starlight. Please sign here. She takes a single step back, leaving a slim passage for Beckett to move by. Her ears are small, light brown hair tied into a ludicrous bun, tight atop her plump head with beady eyes. Seems nervous. Follow me. Beautiful family. Horrific. Please come into the kitchen. Would you like tea, Mr. Beckett, or gin? Drink tea like mother. Drink gin like father did? Do you like to watch a man drink tea, Mr. Beckett? Beckett. Just Beckett. Yes. No, please, take a seat at the table. I'll just be a moment. While we wait. Crooked smiles. They sit at the kitchen table in a moment's silence. There's a bowl of white sugar cubes. He takes two and stirs them into the orange water. Its surface diffracts artificial light to a shifting rainbow of colors. He brings the cup to his lips and sucks the liquid through his teeth. It's passing easily through the gaps and over a few dimpled sockets. His smile was once his best feature. I can assume you haven't heard from your son? Peregrine? No, he hasn't come home. I'm terribly worried. I need you to tell me the facts. No lies. Lies are of no use to me. Of course, I'm so very grateful that you've taken the time to see me. The story of Peregrine Starlight. Peregrine was a special child. He was smart, did well at school. He wasn't good at mixing with other children. The headmaster called him an outcast, stupid man. But he had made a few friends, and his disfigurement didn't cause him much bother. Not really. Most of all, he found pleasure in books. His room was his retreat from the world. He would keep earwigs like any other child, but he was special. The teacher said so. In his teenage years, he grew in confidence, not much in height. He no longer shied away from the other boys. He brushed off their cruelty. Must have been hard going bald before your 18th birthday. He does have hair, but you mainly see head. He has such a beautiful round head. He grew his hair all that it could and tied it back in a golden ponytail. He graduated from school and headed to the city, where I lost him for a few years. He had become a man, going on his own way in the world. I think he was doing non-prescription drugs. I told him never to stray from what you know, but I think that was the trigger. He took a job as an assistant at one of the city desks. He was doing well until he started showing the signs. They called me. His work, they said Peregrine was acting oddly. I should have known straight away. The soft paranoia. His granddad had that and kept him from fighting in the war, ended him locked up in the madhouse. When I got to the city, Peregrine told me his colleagues were out to get him. They would laugh and talk about him behind his back. He would cry in my arms. Poor baby. Of course I believed him. I'm his mother after all. So I went to his manager and we spoke of the accused. They all seemed like the nice children, and they claimed to have been my Peregrine's friends. But no, I stuck by my Peregrine. Like him, I also saw the monsters beneath their skins. I said we would start legal proceedings unless this was resolved. The next day I found Peregrine curled up in his bathtub, weeping uncontrollably. My baby said they were whispering to him. His colleagues, they were sending whispered thoughts. He was convinced. And I found him wandering the streets without his clothes. He was signed off with work permanently and diagnosed as having the soft paranoia. It must skip a generation. All legal proceedings were dropped, and I brought him back to Borough. That was a year ago, almost to the day. Back at home, Peregrine showed signs of improvement. He was happy, I'm sure of it. He would smile. Back in his room with his books. He'd go for walks in Monument Park and bring back flowers, hand-picked for me. And he would always come back, always. He knows how I worry about him. He's a lovely child, a kind child, innocent. And the increased dose is working wonders. Arnold, his uncle, he lives with us, said Peregrine would need to start paying his way. He was upset. They said he was capable of working. He wasn't opposed to the idea either. His uncle is a foreman at the construction site, building all those new homes. He got him a job. Even the doctors said it would be good for him. Some of his classmates are there too. He'd rekindle friendships, meet people again, and the extra money is a big help. I know what you're thinking, Mr. Beckett, but we're not a rich family. This coat is inherited, and my jewelry is a present from an admirer. For a time he seemed so happy, then 2 days ago he left for work as usual. He seemed a little agitated, but I let it go. I let him go. I shouldn't have let him go. He didn't turn up. He didn't come back. Oh, Mr. Beckett, I think he's in trouble. He must be. Can't go to the police. He's a grown man now. They'd laugh. Or worse, they might inform the authorities, and he'd be taken away from me just like his father. I'd not see him again. He's my baby, my only child. They told me you would help. I'm so glad you've come. I'll find your son, but first I need you to sign this. Daisy looked confused. This was unexpected. Is this normal? Just states my rate and stipulates that this cost is unvarying regardless of whether I find your son or if he turns up in a non-living state. You mean dead? Oh no, Peregrine's not dead. I know if he were dead, we're very close. It would be useful to have a look about. Of course, let's go into the living room. Daisy deposits her hulking form onto a threadbare sofa, once upholstered in an opulent red velvet. She smiles at Beckett and reaches for the remote control. I decorated this room myself. In the cabinet is an array of Toby jugs and other pointless items purchased from mail order catalogs and hoarded for personal satisfaction. It's a risque image. I was beautiful in my youth. You can see that, can't you?
Carol, you should take time to think it over. And then... even if you want the marriage dissolved, I'd understand because I do love you.
I get those from the market when I have a little spare change. It's the little things in life that bring me happiness. That and my Peregrine. The woman lets out a whimper, then returns to her television.
Oh, darling, I'm so sorry that had to happen.
I'm glad he came. I want you to be sure. Very sure. It was my fault, rushing into a marriage like this. But I love you, and that's my only excuse. Carol, you should take time to think it over. And then... even if you want the marriage dissolved, I'd understand, because I do love you. And I always shall.
I wonder what movie that is. I know I've heard of it before. Bookcase is filled with cheap romances and self-help paperbacks. An assortment of trinkets and objects of no material worth are placed ad hoc on the shelves. Like Beckett, she no longer wears a wedding ring. Peregrine's room is downstairs, Mr. Beckett, the first door on your right. Tried not to tidy it too much. He'd thrown a few things about.
You should take time to think it over. Then...
Peregrines. Wow, there's a lot here. He finds a notebook hidden between two volumes, and its pages are filled with rant. On its cover, notes for the dead, using ink and lead. The writing is an impossible scrawl to read. Beckett turns over pages 1, 2, and 3. Beneath her fragrant skin, no serpents squirm, only beauty, like flowers in bloom, Monument Park in June. Your face lives behind my eyes. The monsters retreat when you smile, it's true. The sun breaks through, butterflies tear from the glue that holds them tight, and try as I might, I can't stop their fluttering inside. I could imagine our kiss. I could imagine our kiss. Your eyes alight, my tears distort sight, but the image is clear. I love you despite my fear. I'm stopping the pills for you. The night draws near, and the cards line up. Fate dictates. Mother awaits. She will understand. You're not from this land, but that's fine. Your skin is different, like mine, I think. I hope. She better not interfere like she has before. Stupid woman. It is insufferable. Beckett can read no more. Poison the bugs. Daisies. Plant the bug in the pillow, Beckett. There is a book. Its spine is broken, its pages worn. Beckett refrains from entering its world. Daisy is lonely. She craves another life, an escape from the waking world. Beckett imagines her touch. Beckett shuts his eyes, to clear these thoughts. Romance, a naked flame, Charlotte Lamb. Since her divorce from Logan Gray 4 years ago, Chrissy had managed to rebuild her life. I can't read that. He was determined to take Kid away from her. Could it be possible that he would succeed? No. The picture shows Daisy Starlight in her youth, letting go of what was is never easy. Letting go of what was is never easy. The beautiful Daisy Starlight, desirable, taking the world to her advantage. This is the reality she wants, locked behind glass frames. The brain offers a distorted reality. Beckett, it's time. A silent response. Beckett takes a small box from his overcoat pocket and slides open its lid. Inside, the milky white grub squirms against its padded mattress. It is grown. Beckett lifts the creature with his thumb and forefinger, its translucent body wreathing in silent response. In the bedroom light, he can see the black beads inside and a mangle of fine electrical wires. He opens the pillowcase and gently places the larva inside. Its instinct is to nuzzle into the soft fabric, waiting for a living host. He notices small yellow stains on the white padding. In the box, the grub's sack had torn. Did I place it? Bathroom. Beckett's left hand, Mr. Peregrine Starlight. Beckett's right hand, Miss Daisy Starlight. He finds a number of pill bottles. 2 are issued from the infirmary from its mental health department. The consultant has stated it as the reality principle. The consultant stated as the reality principle? There is a shudder down his spine. In the bath is a scattering of seashells. He picks one out and rubs its surface between his thumb and forefinger. As a child, Beckett would spend hours on the beach collecting shells in a plastic tub. His mother would stand near, her dress catching in the wind, one hand protecting her modesty, the other anchoring her hat on her head. Totally pointless, Dad would say. Beckett thought they were beautiful. Property of Arnold, Greyhound. Death, an accident. Arnold Greyhound sleeps in a bag on the floor in the spare room of his sister's house. Was this the life he aspired to? Was this the expected outcome when he shoved his something into a coworker's behind? She assumed his infidelity was with another woman, and Arnold would never have it known otherwise. He lives out of a suitcase. He seeks forgiveness, but he'll never escape his sin. Beckett rubs his eye and picks something from its corner, flicking it absent-mindedly onto the hallway rug. He imagines Daisy slumped on her sofa, dreaming of a better life through the pages of a trashy novella. We always want what we can't have. Was there any point in revisiting the rooms? He has enough to go on.
Carol, you should take time to think it over. Then
Daisy Starlight sits with a nervous smile on her face, awaiting Beckett's final inquiry. Things I didn't look at. What's Peregrine's relation like with his uncle? Arnold? He's a good man. I was hoping he'd call to tell me Peregrine was at the site today, but no, nothing. Anyone in particular he's close with at work? Oh, my Peregrine, he'll be friends with everyone. He's such a lovely boy. You'd like him, Mr. Beckett. So the flowers, are they all picked by him? Did you peek in my room, Mr. Beckett? Just doing my job. You men are all the same. Pills in the bathroom. Oh yes, I need to inform the reality principal. He should be taking those. Are you also on prescription? Oh, pay no attention to those, Mr. Beckett. The doctor gave me them as a backup in case Peregrine's ran out. I found some theater tickets in his room. He adores the theater. When I was younger, I was an actress. People would queue to see me. You know who he was with. Old Peregrine would always go alone. He'd like it better that way. I believe he bought 2 tickets, perhaps with a girlfriend or boyfriend. Oh no, Peregrine doesn't have one of those. He's a pure child. He's not driven by animal instincts. Beckett sees no point in pursuing this line with Daisy. A voice at the back of his mind is calling Beckett away. There's momentum now. Well, Miss Starlight, I'll be on my way. You'll hear from me shortly. Oh, thank you so much. There's something else unsaid. Mr. Beckett, you find the female body attractive? I have done. I can see that you're a man with, well, certain needs. Miss Starlight, I'll be in touch. Please, bring him home to me. Miss Starlight, I'll be in touch. There are dozens or so crane lying dead on the floor. Beckett stoops down and picks one up, examining it between his thumb and forefinger. Suffocation. The insect hangs limp. His focus shifts from its thin legs to the hairs on the back of its head. His hands were becoming his father's. Beckett had always feared his father's hands. He misunderstood the liver spots as large freckles and had assumed they had always been there. Now he knew they were a sign of death. Death was coming for him. He throws the insect away. It drops to the floor without a sound. Dwarf girl. Excuse me, can I speak with you? The girl was small in height but middle in years. Her fingers were stubby and worn. Excuse me, is it about Peregrine? What do you know? We were friends. Were? I mean, we are friends, just we fought. I think that's why he left. It was terrible. Argument. I think he starts to cry. It's a wail that makes Beckett grimace. We were in love. Did you go to the theater with him the night before last? No, he didn't want to take me. That's why we fought. There was nothing else to be said. Wait. I'm pregnant. Beckett runs his hand through his hair, sees a number of hairs in his palm, then wipes them across the fabric of his trousers to remove off the grease. He considers the person at the end of the passage, checks his watch, and decides any response is not worth the effort. To her parents, Amy was detached. She lacked their values and found companions in those parts of society she was warned against. To her parents, Amy was lost. They made little effort to understand why she was who she was. Instead, they put it down to numbers. She was one of 5, and it was 5 to 1 that one of their children should turn out this way. Which way? We all go our own way, but the signposts keep us right. Don't stray from the path, only badness will be found in the darkness beyond. She would sit by the pond, tears in her eyes, wishing things were different, wishing she were different, but never really meaning it. Do you remember me? Borough grew from its markets. Before the factories, it was known for its fresh fish and imported fruits, less so now. Manufacturing brought change as its workers left their wooden trawlers for buzzsaws and steel. Markets now service a capitalist desire for stuff over necessity. People come to spend money with what little they have, but spending makes them feel better, so that's okay. And every so often you'll see an emperor amongst the mix. And some lucky trader will strike a purchase that means they close up shop early and return home to spend time with their families. That's the dream, the illusion. Beckett comes here to think. The bustle helps clear his mind, and the bric-a-brac restless sleeping memories. Ideas emerge, plans form, inspiration. Beckett has come to realize that his best thoughts aren't of his making. He just catches them as they emerge from ether. Popcorn, we've got meat. Fresh paella. Better day. All ciders. An array of religious artifacts, the Madonna and Child, Christ nailed to the cross, and a collection of stones. Beckett stopped believing in any notion of God the day his baby sister died. Maybe times are changing. As you reach your end of days, you start to plan for the darkness. Turn out that light, his father would scream. Beckett was scared to sleep with the light out, not because of the monsters or the devil, but for the fear his sight would not return. The meat stalk collects flies, flesh, and decay. Beckett pushes his nose into the palms of his hands, feeling bones beneath his skin, flesh and decay. Nearby, a child wails for ice cream. When Beckett was a child, he was fed raw bacon, rind as a treat. He recalls it, sticking in his throat as he gagged, old fingers pulling it out. We adorn ourselves with artifacts, making ourselves more than human. See me for what I wear. Sue them for the money they part with. Caster's stall is open. This you and me. He knows Beckett. There's history. Crap. Hello, Mr. Beckett. Nice to see you again. Any word on the order? It's not here yet. Soon. Out of interest, do you have a customer with a wooden leg? Many. A woman. Are you an admirer? Just professional, Caster. Of course. I think she was here yesterday. Want me to give a message? No, it's not important. Beckett spots a few items that would not be out of place in Daisy Starlight's house. Meaningless junk, projected values, worthless. Better days. Butterfly keys. Specialty teas, great coffee, tasty cake, and all that jazz, right this way. The Butterfly Keys Cafe holds memories for Beckett. Take a moment, reflect, step inside. He picks up the dirt under his nails and wipes his hands across his trousers. Move on. The future is calling. Butterfly Keys has been in Borough since better days. Its management hasn't changed, holding onto a relic from their past. Its teas draw crowds and keeps them away. Amy would order a spiced apple, while Beckett kept to the gunpowder. He recalls her smile as she inhaled its scent and brought the cup to her lips, to kiss her lips again. Beckett takes a moment and clears his head. He needs to consider the present without disruption from the past, interference. But it's one of the few places Beckett has left. There's a clarity here. Inside. Grab any seat that's free. I'll be over to take your order in a minute. Cool? At one point, the use of the word cool would have been in fashion. This boy with acne face is obviously operating on the fringe. On the fringe. Either that or he's ignorantly out of touch. Cool. He sits with a pen and writing pad, scanning the room for inspiration, hurriedly transferring his observations, subconscious mix to paper. He hasn't spotted Beckett. It's only a matter of time until he's woven into his story. Two men touching fingers, sharing a mutual love in their eyes. One whispers to the other, and the pair laugh and dream of future moments. Friends united by shared views and ethical similarities are gathered and openly enthusiastic in their discussions, catching eyes and minds with their ideas. Beckett isn't interested in their words. They're of no consequence. While we wait. Three old ladies sit drinking tea on comfortable chairs. China teapots and cups are stained with red lipstick and the brush of tongue. On the wall behind is a living print. Vibrant blues, purples, and yellows shift delicately as 100 butterflies tug against the hard-set glue that holds them against the canvas. These posters last a month at best, collectively just shy of a decade. The women are in their 80s collectively, just shy of a quarter millennium. Talk about the past, present, never the future. Gunpowder conspiracies. Beckett takes the menu and from its center falls a single printed page. It's a rant in typed ink. Something about a war that never happened and a conspiracy in the city. We're all wanting answers. Who cares if the answers we get are wrong? Beckett places the sheet in front of him, removes the pen from his jacket. Click. And jots down his own thoughts on its reverse. Somewhere along the way he orders and receives a gunpowder tea, but has no recollection of this. The boy's on prescription antipsychotics, unfurl to the reality principle. His mother has this down as the soft paranoia. Find out more. Peregrine works at a building site with his uncle, Arnold Greyhound. His mother believed him to have friends there. Go speak with them. Boy has a fascination with Monument Park and likes collecting flowers. He may be there. He went to the theater the night before last. The ticket suggests Peregrine was with someone else. Who was this? The depression was always there. Beckett couldn't understand its temperament and tried desperately to connect with Amy when she was taken by its ebbs and flows. It was cut from a different cloth. To him, life could be a heavy burden. It could slow you down, it could make you angry and frustrated, but it was manageable. He'd found a way to lock up erratic emotions and observe them from the outside objectively, at arm's length. As a child, Beckett had overcome his fear of insects by exposure. He did the same with emotions. He kept them in boxes near his bed. He would force himself to look, to examine, to understand. Any unknown breeds fear. He was told by whom it does not matter. A friend of his father's, no doubt. Yes, sir. He was more like his father than he cared to admit. He grew up believing his father to be emotionally retarded. His mother would wipe away tears formed through words read from paper pages, while this old man would listen to the radio's constant stream, laughing at tales of misfortune and coughing heavily into a discolored handkerchief. Red speckles seeping into its fabric, a vision in red. Blink. They're all dead. Okay, so we're at the hospital. I feel like I need to take a break. This is quite a bit of reading, but it's still super interesting. I like the story and the way it's unfolding. Kind of has this Naked Lunch sort of feel, especially with the influence of insects. Yeah. It's out.